This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you heard me. So what's the latest?
Well, no tech issues this morning.
Yeah, we're up.
No tech issues.
We're up and running with smooth sales.
Yeah, it's really terrific. You book Billy Bob Thornton and then the equipment doesn't work. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, not the great. Like if we're ranking all the days that are like a good day to have tech issues, the Billy Bob Thornton day has got to be at the top of the list of days not to have tech issues.
But it is recorded now, right? It's
yes.
That shows up. It's up and live for everybody to listen to. Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because he's such a good guy, just a really great guy.
Yeah, he was terrific. I wasn't aware that he had his own band.
Oh yeah, it's a good band too, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the next time he comes to town, we'll have to have him in because you wouldn't believe what a nice guy that guy is.
Okay, perfect.
He just is just a great guy. There's no question about that. So maybe at the State Fair next year.
Yeah, I don't know who books it, but somebody get off their ass and book Billy Bob Thornton.
I agree.
Some local venue. Yep. Get him here.
I agree 100%. Get off your ass. I love that. That works for me. So what else is happening? Anything good?
Ooh, good.
I mean, it's like the snow has stuck around, and so it stopped falling from the sky. So now it just looks like a great winter wonderland. So that's nice. The roads are a little bit nicer this morning, but still a little slippery. But I mean, we're headed into the weekend. The vibes are good. Christmas is right around the corner.
Like a 16-day weekend.
Yeah. It's going to heat up actually next. I think it's going to get above 40 next week.
That's what I heard, so that's a good thing. No question about that. I've had an interesting experience lately popping on social media. Could people be any more unhappy or pissed off at the world than they are on social media right now?
Oh, no. And it's alarming because this is supposed to be like the most magical time of the year where everybody's a little bit nicer and nobody's nicer to anybody.
I'm in a great mood. I love my wife, my kids, our grandkids, my friends. I got a great job. I'm sorry. I just am not pissed off as the rest of you. How these people can believe the BS that comes out of Washington, D.C. Look, I don't care if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. I tend to be very centrist at this point. I don't dislike Democrats or Republicans. Why would I want to waste my life worrying about your politics? Right?
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm not, you can, whatever gets you fired up about politics, usually I'm like, I don't really give a rat's.
Right. I give it the, Mm-hmm. You're going to say your piece. I hear you. And then let's push on and let's talk about something else.
You think we'll ever get past this where everybody is so unhappy because they're being taught to be unhappy?
I mean, I think it would take a pretty revolutionary person to run for office that's just so loved that everybody would kind of come together. But I don't see that person anywhere on the horizon.
Well, I know you begged me to do it, but I just can't do it. I've already got it.
Yeah, so I blame you for everybody's unhappy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
If you would just get off your butt and just get in the ballot box.
Mm-hmm.
Send everybody to prison. It'd be phenomenal.
Yep.
You're going to prison. I hop on, like I said, I hop on social media. It's like, how can you people not see the obvious? It's right in front of your eyes. It's like, would you calm down? How do you believe that? I watched a little bit of, and I do every morning, I watch a little bit of, CNN and Fox and a couple of these other places just to see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you do like the sample platter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sample platter. How anybody can believe 100% of what those people are talking about is beyond me. Some of it's entertaining. Most of it's money-making BS. Calm down. Right?
That's the biggest thing. It seems like when you watch the news, both like the same story on different channels can be presented in very different ways. So that's what that's why I frankly don't watch the national news as much.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
Like I know Kristen has kind of talked about, and I think you've actually brought it up too, or maybe it was Chris who did, but BBC, just because they are, I guess, like across the pond, they kind of have a little more let's just talk about it. I just from my college days of doing like news shows and stuff like that for a half hour, the AP of just pretty much the rip and read of here's the fact, here's the small detail that you have to know that's very important to the story, and that's it. And there's really no opinion-based stuff. That kind of AP wire usually is what I go to.
You know what amazes me the most about it? And look, you vote for who you vote for. You have a different life than I do. You have different beliefs than I do. Whatever. Some of us have the same beliefs and all the rest of it. But can any party right now stand up and go, our guy is 100% solid? No, they're not.
No, but they'll still get up and go, this person's 100% solid.
Oh, yeah.
Ignore the stuff that's over there. Just focus over here.
I got nothing against Biden. I got nothing against Trump. I got nothing against any of these people. Do I agree with what they say? Maybe about 25 to 30% of it. I run my own life. You know, you people want to go out and get mixed up in all this crap with all these politicians. Good for you. Go do that. I have a few friends that have been politicians over the years. Some are Democrats, some are Republicans. I don't care about that. I just, once again, I got up this morning and just checked social media, and it's, oh my God, it's Friday. We hate everyone. No, it's Friday, and we're going into the Christmas week, so shut up and enjoy yourself. How about that?
Right. Put some milk and cookies out from Santa and just have a good time. Everybody just calm down. Or if you're really that upset, run for office. You can run for something else. You can put your name in the ballot box if you want to. You can take steps to try to improve your community. So it's either take some action or just woosah.
No, we didn't. I can't remember what it used to be called when I was a kid, but it was not Kwanzaa like it's called now, but there was a different, the black people in my neighborhood had a different name for Christmas. It was still Christmas, but it had a different name, kind of like Kwanzaa is now. But you got Hanukkah, you got Kwanzaa, you got Christmas. Everybody should be happy this time of year, and you're more miserable than ever, which just means to me your education was really terrible. You believed all the crap that they told you. I remember being in second grade going, that's not true, and I'm 6 years old and I know better. You know, just stop believing all this anti-this or anti-that. Calm down, enjoy your life. What do you got, 80, 90, 100 years? You want to be pissed off most of it? Good for you. I'm not going to be pissed off with you. I just am not. A lot of stuff has happened to me. People have stolen money from me. People have stabbed me in the back. I got, treated like crap by people I helped out immensely. Catherine just opened the door and let the dog in.
There we go, Jude.
There's Judy's in the room. Now, Jude. Oh, he goes over, he knocks on the door. Let me out. He's in here.
Said I was tricked into coming in here.
Let me out, Mom. Dad's in here. I don't want to be in here with Dad.
God, get in, get out, whatever.
Last night, don't tell anybody this, but we were invited to a holiday celebration last night, and I was asked if Catherine was my daughter. Yeah. I mean, I am 7.5 years older than she is, but not quite old enough to be her father, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and I feel like at this stage, because what you guys have been married for, is it 40 or is it 35?
44. We've been married 40 years, been together for 44 years.
That's incredible. At this stage,
Wonderful.
I mean, that 7.5 year gap, I feel like there's other things to worry about.
Yeah, that was somebody trying to throw a shot at you.
Yeah, no
question.
Or flatter her a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey. Like, oh, it's your 21st birthday today, Catherine, type of thing. Or Tom, bring your daughter out here. And you're like, I don't look that old, guys. Everybody calm down.
Shut the hell up, right? Calm down, shut the hell up, everybody. Well, once again, people can't be happy for you. Why would they want to be happy for you?
No, right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Have you ever been in an uncomfortable situation where a guy brings, like a woman brings a new guy or a guy brings a new woman into the deal, and people have been drinking and they get way too honest about it? God, I hate that happened to me one time. It wasn't me. I would just happen to be there. the hell you doing with that person? They're terrible. It's like, settle down. The guy or the woman there's happy with them. Let them alone. Leave them alone.
Yeah, I've been in a situation like that before. I was DJing a wedding.
Oh, God.
The families come strolling in for the ceremony, and there's one girl in particular that she's dressed more like she's going out to the club. She like doesn't really look like she fits with everybody. And so I do a little sleuthing and figure out who she is. And it apparently dad of like the groom, divorced mom of the groom. And this is his first time bringing his new mistress to meet the entire family. It was one of the most awkward situations I've ever been a part of. It was so much fun to watch from a distance.
As somebody with zero stake in the game.
Yep. Yeah, he's sneaking her outside so they can like take pictures and give a little kiss, and like they ended up canceling his speech that he was supposed to do with his wife because there was so much tension. Oh, it was awesome. I loved it.
Well, that'll happen. Yeah, I remember going through that. I mean, my dad, I only saw him a few times later on, but he got once my mother, because she was Catholic, did not want to divorce him, even though they hadn't been together in years. But finally, the legal system talked to her, look, you'll be a lot better off if you do divorce him. So she finally did. Then he starts showing up at the house with his new wife. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, good. Thanks a lot. You did nothing to make our lives better, and now you're going to show up anyway? Go away. Right? Although he died at 60, so I guess he wasn't around for very long. Whatever. It all works out in the end. But I just wanted you both to know, no matter what your politics are, I hate you, and it's your fault. If I have any misery in my life, it's your fault, not mine.
Same to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to fit in with the rest of the people, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm miserable, it's your fault, not mine.
No.
Oh, okay.
Definitely nothing I did. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to talk a little bit about Josh Arnold here. Josh. I hope he's coming in today. No, we don't have any new snow or anything. We have the snow we had yesterday, but we don't have any new snow.
Yeah, I believe it snowed a little bit last night.
Yeah,
not enough where it's like people should wake up horrified.
See, there you go. Well, so I'm assuming Josh will be here. I'm hoping for the show today. So listen to this Tom Barnard Show. I have an announcement for you. I need just 5 of you listening to do me and yourselves a favor. And by the way, let me spend a little time on that. It is a favor to you because Josh Arnold does know what he's doing. He does very well with this stuff. You're not going to take the pipe in any way, shape, or form if you invest with Josh Arnold or allow him to look at your investments, I guess is a better way to put it. I need to take advantage of a free offer. Seriously, it's free. I need you to call Josh Arnold, 952-925-5608, and tell him Tom sent you. Josh will meet with you for free, give you advice on investing, handling, and making money. He'll answer any and all of your questions about retirement, your 401k, your IRA, retirement savings, and it's free. What do you have to lose? I'm talking to you. Do you hear me? Be one of my 5 listeners to pick up the phone now and call 952-925-5608. Ask for Josh, Mr. Money Talk. He'll give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your investments. And again, it is free. So call Josh now, 952-925-5608. But you got to tell him Tom sent you. Then call me afterward and thank me for the free service. I did not write that line, by the way. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be Bilski's North American Banking Company. He should change the name to just Bilski's North American Banking Company. What do you think?
I like it.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
You've heard me talk about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker, and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So, if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. There are 6 of them, of course, we pointed out. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is to talk about sports. Phil Mackey. What's happening, pal?
Well, I was at Target Center last night, sitting next to Judd.
Oh, no.
For the grand Karl-Anthony Towns return to the arena that he played in for almost a decade. And he absolutely destroyed the Timberwolves last night.
That's what I heard.
The Wolves were up by 2 after the first quarter. And Cat had like 4 turnovers in the first quarter. And it's like, oh, okay. And then the Knicks went on like a 28-2 run or something. The Knicks went from trailing by 2 at the end of the first quarter to leading by 30 at the end of the first half, basically.
Oh, God.
And Cat puts up 30 points, 20 rebounds, a handful of assists. He's bombing threes. And even though it was a 20 or 30-point game the entire rest of the night, Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks coach, left Cat in the game with like all the backups just to keep racking up points and rebounds and stuff. It was one of the most embarrassing games in the history of, I would say, like, it's not hyperbole to say, one of the biggest clownings of the Timberwolves in arena history. It was bad.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Why did they get rid of Cat anyway?
Okay, I know people don't want to hear this today because they just want outrage. They want me to say fire everyone. But Positive Phil and Reasonable Phil is here to tell you that you can't. Now, we could argue that the return that they received in the trade is not working out at all.
Right.
But Cat was 29 years old. He was making like 36% of the salary cap on the way up. He's always hurt. He underperforms in the playoffs. Yeah. And they looked at it and said, yeah, we don't – fans might disagree here, but we think we've gone as far as we can with Cat making $50 or $60 million and taking up this huge chunk. So they decided to sort of sell high on him and move on. And it's clicking very well for the Knicks. It's not clicking at all yet for the Timberwolves. The trade was made for more like a 3 to 5 year window. Mm-hmm. And, man, I logged on social media this morning, which was a mistake, and I have every Knicks fan in America dunking on me right now. And nobody does early victory laps in sports like Knicks fans in December, by the way. That is a garbage franchise.
This was their Super Bowl championship, whatever you want to call it. The Knicks, they love celebrating regular season stuff.
Can we just start like a made-up rivalry with you and Spike Lee?
Yeah, he was there. Spike Lee was there last night.
Was he really?
Spike Lee traveled to Minnesota for this game and sat courtside underneath the basket.
I have a question for you. How the hell would you even know it's Spike Lee? I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Well,
Really?
because all the chairs and like the people would be roughly the same height, and then you'd be like, "Oh, there's an empty seat," and then you look down, and then there's
Spike.
Yeah,
He had the Knicks stocking cap on last night, the Knicks jacket. I think the most entertaining part of the game was during the second quarter. You had 2 women in Knicks gear run onto the court during a timeout and I think they were trying to flash, but the security guards tackled both of them before they could get their 15. Maybe they were protesting the Wolves' defense. I don't know, but yeah, it was wild last night.
What is that all about? People rushing the court? That's odd.
It's a great family-friendly experience at Target Center. Yeah, watch your team get its ass kicked and Knicks fans running naked on the court. Yes.
Did you guys love it to watch our former governor, Jesse Ventura, go berserk at Timberwolves games?
Well, yeah, he would sit there like, 10 rows up?
Yep.
And it was funny because like he would, before and after he was governor, he would have the long hair or he would kind of be outlandishly dressed. But then there was that 4-year period where where he would still go to some games and he would have, the shaved head and the mustache, and he'd be dressed like a professional. Yeah.
Still dropping the F-bombs, though, in front of little kids at the stadium.
Yeah. just yelling at Rasho and Esterovich to get back on defense.
Exactly right. Yeah, I remember I was at, I think, one game where he was there, and he didn't sit down for 1 minute of the game. God, he was up and down and running around and just going berserk. Yeah. Like, Jesse, calm down.
There were some characters, man. Then they used to have Bill, I can't remember his last name, but the guy who would just sit courtside with a rolled-up program in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Crouching and just pounding the court. And I think the 2008 financial crash kind of did him in. But they brought him back for a couple other games.
Ooh.
But, yeah, I feel like we need more characters courtside at Target Center these days.
All sports, I think. Well, what happened to the days when they used to throw booze bottles at the refs and hit them in the noggin?
Let's bring that
Viking
back.
Game.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
Let's encourage that.
Yeah, there you go. Get it right in the noggin. What the hell is wrong with you?
Right. Phil, there was one story. It doesn't really have anything to do with Minnesota, but that I wanted to get your take on, because it came out of New York, where the Jets owner apparently is soliciting advice from his 18-year-old son, and who's vetoing potentially blockbuster trades because players' Madden ratings aren't high enough. Have you ever seen or heard anything like this before in a professional setting?
There was another, I think it was maybe the same story or something similar, that in addition to taking advice from his teenage kids about like what the video game ratings say about free agents, there was a quarterback named Mike White who was a backup quarterback who got some starts a few years ago with the Jets. And Woody Johnson walked in the locker room after a game and was just mad because they lost. And he looked over at Mike White and said, "You suck."
Oh, God.
Owner of the team.
Holy Hannah.
Oh, man.
Any fisticuffs after that? Or?
I mean, he's the owner. Like, what do you...
You suck.
Just punch him and turn in your card key, I guess.
Well, Ginny does that once in a while. She just calls me about, once a month. Yeah, Tom, you suck.
You suck.
Thanks, Ginny.
Yeah, Stanley, too. Mr. Hubbard comes walking in. Tom, you suck.
Tom,
okay,
you
Mr.
suck.
Hubbard. Yep.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, Pally. No question about it. So anything good coming up in the near future? I mean, we got Christmas in just, 4 days?
Yeah, well, Vikings and Seahawks on Sunday.
Days.
So that should be so short week for the Vikings. They get one fewer day to prepare, and then they go out west. So it's kind of one of those weird schedule games where you're traveling time zones. It's going to be rainy and like 49 degrees, and Seattle's always a hard place to play. So it'd be a pretty big win for the Vikings if they could keep this thing rolling on the road on Sunday. Should be fun.
I have a question for you. Seattle's one of the few cities in America I've never been.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've never been to Seattle. You guys have been there, obviously, right?
I lived there for 2 years.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it gets a little misty and gray over the winter months, but I'm telling you, Washington State, like Seattle and then the greater Washington State, between like the beginning of June and the end of October is the best weather in the country.
Really?
0 clouds, barely any rain, 75, 77 degrees every single day.
Very nice.
Water and trees and mountains. It's fantastic.
When you lived there, how many times did you go watch those guys throw the fish and like catch?
A lot. People. It's funny because like the locals, like the public market. It's very touristy, and we're like, I mean, we've lived here for a year and a half or whatever. Like we love it, and because you can just it's when you live that close to the ocean, basically. They're just like reaching in the water and pulling out your lunch. That's what we love. Just I'll have some salmon. Okay, yeah, let me just reach in here and grab your dinner, sir. So yeah, we loved it, man. The public market. It's very cliche, but that's the Mackeys, I guess.
So I've been to Eastern Washington State, but never Western Washington State. I don't know. I don't even know. I'd like to go to Vancouver someday. You ever been to Vancouver?
Beautiful.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's spectacular.
Waterfront. You got mountains just up the way. Yeah, awesome.
I guess my name is big out there. The name Barnard is big in Vancouver. I don't know if I'm related to any of them or not, but I guess it's one of the biggest names in town.
I think we have to go investigate now. I think we need to go and
You walk into like whatever steakhouse and like, do you know who I am? Bernard.
I'm Barnard. What do you think of that, actually? What if they're just fooling me to try to lure me there to just arrest me? What if
that could be it wouldn't be shocking. Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocking at all.
You have an arrest out or like a warrant out in
Canada?
In that province or what?
I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure it out. You know,
and then we can add it to your Wikipedia page after you get arrested.
Yeah, because that Wikipedia page is looking good, isn't it? That's magnificent. No
what can we add today? Let's go in and
spruce it up a little bit.
You know what you should do? You should add this because he's racist and he was in what year would that have been? 72, I think. I worked at KNOX in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Now, according to Wikipedia, I hate everyone and I'm horrible and I treat everybody. I lived with a black family in North Dakota. How many other honkies you know that ever went to North Dakota and lived with a black family there the whole time?
You gotta check the census in 1972 and see what the.
Not a lot of black families living in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not. That's because of the army. Because of the army base up there. I suppose. In Grand Forks, the army base up there. But yeah, Victor and Gail Treadwell were their names. Gail, by the way, was a stunningly beautiful woman. I think she won. I don't know, some
like Miss North Dakota or something.
Miss North Dakota, yeah, one of those kind of deals, whatever. But I look at that, the people bring up that Wikipedia thing. I'm like, I don't know. How is it they can put that? They didn't even bother to check to see if it was true. They just put it in there.
That's not important. Come on.
This is Wikipedia. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Why do they like to harm people is what I don't understand.
Hey, what did you do is it KNOX in North Dakota?
Yeah, I did nights.
Were you spinning the hits or what were you doing?
I was spinning the hits, man.
Yeah.
Just jaw-jacking.
I was jaw-jacking and spinning the hits, man. And the overnight guy, good friend of mine, used the name Jumpin' Jack Flash. What do you think of that?
I feel like there was a bunch of Jumpin' Jack Flashes.
Yeah, there were, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just like there's a bunch of Wolfmans in like the 70s and 80s.
Hey, Wolfman. Catman, you're stealing my act, but it's all right. I will never forget it. I got to find those. They're out there somewhere, all these recordings of Wolfman Jack talking to me. They're just wonderful.
Isn't it crazy how all of this radio content was like, and even like the word content is kind of a new word in media, but people were on the radio entertaining for decades and decades, and most of that is it just comes and goes out into the ether.
Yep.
No one is stockpiling it or recording it. We're going to say whatever you want, quite frankly, and no one's going to really care because it's just gone.
It kind of is. I mean, it really is too bad. It's a great bit of communication. See, here's the problem I have. I don't want to lose local radio and local television because then you've got one thing making all your decisions for you, trying to change your mind about everything, and that's national media. No, yeah. I don't like national. You got to have some local input too, and that's where local television and local radio comes in. Absolutely true. I don't want to lose that. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, except Egert. We could probably lose Egert.
Yeah, we could lose Egert. Yeah. Just get rid of him completely. You throw him out the door.
Other than that, though.
Sorry, Bell, but you got to go. That's just how it is there, Chrissy.
Right.
CE.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I didn't know Egert was in the chat here. Yeah, F you, Phil.
That's tough talk coming from a guy that's doing a show from home. So he doesn't have to go to Egert face to face.
Absolutely. And now, the great thing about it is Phil goes away, and then Chris comes on and stares at me like, what are you allowing this for? What is that all about? I'd like to know what the deal is with you. But no, the one thing I love about doing this show is most people run and hide from that kind of stuff. I never have. It's like, yeah, did you see what they said about me on social media? It's like, who cares? It's all bullshit. Some people do believe it, though. They really do believe that.
I should read you some of the mean tweets that sports fans are sending me this morning here.
You're getting a lot of why? Because of the Timberwolves?
Yeah, here's one that just came across 6 minutes ago. Keep embarrassing yourself, dickhead. Okay.
I thought your name was Phil.
Did I hit send on that tweet?
Yeah, there you go.
Text to AJ.
That's awfully mean. Okay,
See, I just love. They called you dickhead, really? So why are you a dickhead? What did you do wrong?
Let me show you, Tom, right here.
Dickhead. Check it out. Why are they saying that about you? What did you say that upset them?
Well, this is what's funny. I guess I said two things. One, Wolves fans, be patient, basically. Okay, let's not. It's December 19th last night. Just because you lost a game, it's December basketball. Let's take a deep breath. But then I may have jumped in on Knicks fans on Twitter and essentially said nobody does victory laps in December in sports quite like New York Knicks fans. And there's just a lot of Knicks fans on the internet, so they're all just kind of coming at me this morning. Dickhead. Okay, well, dickhead. Check it out. That's my new DJ name, actually.
Dickhead.
Right, Dickhead, spinning the tracks. That's right.
No, I understand. There's no question about it. Look, you're going to have – I just don't want to do it in front of you, so you're going to have to get off the show so I can badmouth the hell out of you later on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just get that taken care of. Well, I just love the fact that people do that behind your back, but they'd never do it to your face. I just love that.
It's I can appreciate it on the internet when someone puts their actual name and photo and they rip you. It's like, okay, Bob has a problem with me. And I can respect Bob for putting his name on it. But when it's when it's like some random, you always see like the name and then the 15 number digits that they give you by default when you create like a screen name and no profile picture. Come on. Put your photo on the insults.
I want you to know you've lit up my watch now. I'm wearing one of those watches where I get notifications on it. She's lighting up, but it's all positive. Every comment's positive. Yeah, so
it doesn't say I agree. Tell Phil he is indeed a dickhead.
Yes. It does not say that. It doesn't say that. Pain in the ass, yes, but not a dickhead. So,
yeah. By the way, it hits closer to home for bald people when you call us dickheads. Okay, so just know that you ruined my morning, random person on the internet.
But just being on this show brought it back, and now you're having this wonderful Friday just before Christmas.
Exactly.
Life is wonderful.
Amen.
All right,
Amen.
Pill. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
All right, guys. Enjoy your holidays. Skol Vikings and go Knicks. All right.
I like it. Thanks a lot, man. Phil Mackey, SKOR North. Ladies and gentlemen, take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds so Egert can be pissed off at us.
I like it.
We attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. MyPillow, glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, and they won't last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year, regular price $119.98, now only $59.98. The 6-piece or 6-pack, either one, towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, from bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 or the 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. So, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company.
To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Now we drag Chris Egert into the conversation. How often do you get hammered on social media by listeners or viewers?
I like to keep it pretty light on the old social media, so not a lot.
So you don't even know, huh?
There's a couple years ago though where a lady told me I should cut off my other leg and kill myself, and we should all die in the streets. And
you got the letter from Catherine?
Her name was Catherine Brandt. So
what did you do? Report that traffic was going to be bad the next morning?
Yeah.
Nah, it was political stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if political stuff.
I just don't understand these extreme political views, far left, far right. It doesn't matter to me. Calm down, for God's sake.
Well, depending on the perspective, of course, Channel 5 is the most liberal or the most conservative station in the entire world. Based on
exactly right.
Whoever the hell it is that's tweeting you or whatever at the moment. So,
it's phenomenal.
I don't know. I do get from time to time, Tom, you might get a chuckle out of this. And I will from time to time get a message on Facebook that's very inappropriate, like a video.
Oh, guys, sure.
Of what?
Not the what. Not. I'm going to say this in a way that I can say it without. The video is of a person without clothes on, but it's not nearly as satisfying or cool as I would think that it would be. How's that sound?
Are people sending you sex tapes?
Like disturbing, like what the, like that kind of like. Yeah.
Really?
And the ladies, oh my God, the ladies on TV, they get that crap all the time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I see you got, I saw you just put something out on the X about an hour or so ago. What's going on?
Who, me?
Yeah. About social media.
I'm looking at social media. People are just so pissed off about everything and complaining about. Why are you taking this so personally? Like I said, you chose sides. I don't have a side. I don't have the left. I don't have the right. I don't have the Republicans. I don't have the Democrats. I'm kind of stuck in the middle, just trying to get through my life and figure out what it's all about. But my God, people just, the world's coming apart at the seams. It's just horrible. I can't take it anymore. It's like, would you stop listening to these psychopaths? Calm down.
I'll tell you what you need to do, Tommy. Go down the rabbit hole on like the drones or some like.
Oh yeah.
And once you tap into that algorithm, then that'll be the stuff that mainly comes up on your feed, and then you can get away from the politics a little bit, and then you can just go down into the crazy world of tinfoil hats and reptilians running the government, and like that's a lot of fun. I find that that's my favorite. Social media is going down there because it's just more enjoyable to me because the craziness I don't find it. I find it amusing versus the political craziness. I don't find it amusing anymore. I just find it.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's one of those situations. Basically, I have learned, though, because of social media, that not just one, but both people who ran for president are the worst human beings on earth. And then there's a third one, Joe Biden. All three of them are the worst people ever born, and we had no option and no choice. They're all three just horrendous people.
Right.
It's like, oh, Jesus, calm down.
And yeah, I don't know. I people have their reasons for feeling the way they feel about. I just I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. Actually, it's so irritating.
Well, we'll have Tevin because I think Tevin, aren't you dating Kamala Harris now?
No, I slid in her DMs and she.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Rejection, yeah. And then when she didn't win, I was like, I only date winners.
Well, you only date winners.
Like, listen, Tevin, are you going to the game tomorrow?
What game would that be?
Bison and South Dakota State.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to the game, but the Bison are going to absolutely brutalize the Jackrabbits tomorrow.
I think you're right. I don't know.
Okay.
I've got a well, it's funny. I think I have a friend who's got a kid on every one of the teams that's playing in the. I've got a kid, somebody at USD, somebody at Montana State, somebody at North Dakota State. The South Dakota State thing, I'm not sure about. I'm trying to figure that one out because it's not it's like somebody I know who has a kid on there. But it's kind of fun for, our local football to kind of be able to watch. And they're all going to be televised on the network this weekend. I think on Channel 5, actually. I think we have the North Dakota State game tomorrow. So.
Yeah, NDSU, SDSU is a huge rivalry for the Dakotas. It's Minnesota, Wisconsin, Duke, North Carolina type things. They play every year for the Dakota marker, and there's no better feeling than when it's on the other sideline, and then you win the game hits 0, and your team just sprints over and rips the Dakota marker from their sideline, and you bring it back, and it's extremely heavy. But yeah, it's a great rivalry. It should be a really good game. I know SDSU just is coming off their most recent championship. We're happy for them. They've won one. When they get up to, the 9s and the 10s like NDSU.
Oh, here we go.
But, NDSU is going to take the crown from them this year.
Now, you went to NDSU, correct, Tevin?
Yep.
And, Chris, you went to South Dakota?
No, I went to a smaller school and played basketball there. Yeah. Yeah, good memory.
Well, yeah. I just assumed that was, one of the bigger programs in South Dakota, isn't it?
Well, it's a water park now, and
It's a water park, okay.
Yeah, my college is so awesome, they turned it into a water park.
I've never heard that one before.
That learning institution was so important to the community that they decided to build a water slide there instead.
Well, it's just, as you know, my college career was one day.
Yeah.
And so I haven't taken a lot of that away with me. Oh, I just saw a post that just came up. I see it's a post from you, Mr. Egert.
What did I say?
Oh.
F you, Phil.
Oh, yeah.
God, it did not.
That's what it says right here. I'm looking at it.
Oh, no, that's on the
for the chat here.
No, he tweeted that.
Yep.
He tweeted that. At Phil Mackey.
That's internal. I did not. But
we're bringing it all up right on the show.
Are you the one that called Phil a dickhead?
I would be happy. I'd be happy to say that to Phil's face. I love Phil.
Absolutely.
I get along very well.
Oh, Phil's a great guy.
Yes.
He's got a good sense of humor, and you have to, because he provokes. And sometimes people on social media provoke to get a reaction, and that's fine and dandy too. And sports is one of those things. I think a little bit different than politics. It's not life and death as much as people like to think it is. It's sports. And so I think people can throw it out there and be a little more passionate about their team versus their politician, because it feels like it's less, I don't know, less, what's the right word I'm looking for? Less important.
Less important. There you go. All right, so we're not going to talk to you for a couple of weeks. So what are you going to do?
You out all week next week?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
And then
Shut up, really?
And then we won't be back till the 2nd of January.
Oh, good. Well, I don't know. I'm working
I thought
the
we were coming
entire
back on
time.
the 6th of January. Isn't the 2nd of January like a Thursday?
Yeah.
Why the hell would we come back then? Let's just come back on the 6th. Hell with it.
Okay.
Your name is on the show?
Yeah. Okay.
We follow your
it sounds like you're the guy with the Breakers hat on makes that call.
All right.
Works for me. Okay, see you on the 6th.
All right. Well, I'll be
Right, we'll talk
while you're freewheeling. I'll be holding down the fort at Channel 5 every day between now and then. So
It's all you ever do, man.
That's right.
For that, Chris.
I am here for the people.
There's no question. You are here for the people. There's no doubt about it. All right, thanks, young man. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, guys. Take care.
Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. So we'll take a break, be right back. Timmy's up next, isn't it? Oh, no, Bob's up next.
Roberts, Mr.
Robert
Sansevere
is up next. Sanny is up next right after this.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultants, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
There you have. So you guys thought we were coming back on the 2nd?
I did, yeah.
Why the hell would you come back on a Thursday and a Friday?
I feel like I got an email from somebody.
From who?
I don't know. Somebody said we're off through the 2nd. I was included
through the 2nd and the 3rd.
So we are going to be off next week and the following and come back on January 6th.
That's when I'm coming back.
Okay.
That's what I'm just telling you.
All right.
I mean, I always thought that was ridiculous. You're going to be gone for 10 days, but come back for the 2 just before the weekend. It's like, why? There, you got plenty of best ofs, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Every day's the best of.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, there's no question. There's no getting around it, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially yesterday.
So, but yeah, yesterday was a real thrill, no question. We get Billy Bob Thornton on the show. Sorry, we don't have a signal. It's like, oh, Jesus. What a wonderful career.
But if you did miss that episode, it's now up streaming live on YouTube and on wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Barnard Show app. There you go. Download.
Billy Bob did a great job. He was a hell of an interview like he always is, no question. So Bob Sansevere.
Now we just got Italian Bob, not Billy Bob.
You know, one of the greatest things on earth is, like, last night I went to a holiday celebration for Christmas at the Italian Polish Club. They get the Italians and the Poles together. Boy, I didn't stay until the drinking got heavy, so I don't know how the thing finished.
So, all right. So, is the spaghetti sauce kielbasa in with the red sauce?
Totally different.
Little bolognese and pierogi.
But I will tell you this. I'll say his name is Joe, 85 years old, a former New York cop. My God, did he have the stories. We got to have Joe on the show. He had stories. And then he kind of admitted that maybe he came from a family that nice Italian boys come from, where maybe a cousin or two was involved on the other side, if you know what I mean.
There's always a cousin or two on the other side.
Always a cousin or two on the other side. Oh, it was a lot of fun, honest to God. John from the building threw the party. Like I said, the Polish-Italian Club. I've never heard of that before.
It's an interesting combo.
It was a great gathering, great party. No question about it. I had a really, really good time. Met a bunch of good people. Everybody behaved, so that was good.
Were you back in the day? Were you the one who misbehaved? Back in the day.
Well, maybe. I mean, when I was a teenager,
Yeah, we'll go that far back. All right. And by the way, Tevin, good move that you've insured yourself at least another season.
Oh yeah,
with that line. Every day's best of.
Yes, every day's a best of. That's just how it is, you know. But in any case, Andy, what is new with you, Pally?
New with me, it's just same old. But the new with your Vikings, they win the 3, they're in NFC North, and most likely they will be home field throughout. That's a big deal. Last night,
huge.
How about those Timberwolves? They got their asses kicked by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, what the hell was that all about? He just destroyed them personally, didn't he?
Well, he wanted to show off for the hometown fans. So
I guess so, but it was true. I have not followed the Timberwolves much. I don't know. Something about the NBA, it's like, it's all right, whatever. It's okay. I'm much more of a baseball, football guy.
Ever since Tits McGee stopped playing, right?
Tits McGee, that's exactly Tits McGee.
You were a big Kevin McHale fan. That's what you called him, right?
Yeah, exactly. God, he did not like that at all. Well, he's got a big chest. He didn't have titties, but he had a big chest. He's a big guy. It was a compliment.
Yeah.
You thought I stabbed him right in the back. He did not like me at all, man. At first, we'd get together, maybe have a little lunch, this, that, or the other thing. But as it turned out, after a while, Kevin's got an attitude anyway.
He does, but he's a great guy.
That's what I hear from everybody.
I mean, I would think, to me, he's got he and Herbeck are a couple of great guys.
Yeah,
because they
Herbeck's
both
a great
have
guy.
Great senses of humor.
See, I don't know what the hell I did to McHale to piss him off as much as I did. Maybe calling him Tits McHale, that probably didn't fly well with him.
It was McHale, not McGee. I'm sorry.
It was Tits McHale, yeah.
Off of Tits McGee.
But I'm just guy's got a big chest. He's a big fella. That's all I was saying. What are you pissed off at me for?
Hell of a player too.
Great player. He was a really good player. Man, that Celtics team back in those days was unbeatable.
Yeah, except Lakers could beat him, and then he beat the Lakers.
And then they beat the Lakers. Yeah, exactly. It was really, really good. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, nice Italian boy Bob. After being with all my Italian, and by the way, the Polish Italian Club.
Yeah.
Every Italian's member of the club is a cop. So there you go.
Nothing wrong with that. Hey, by the way, if you haven't, because you watch Netflix and those stations,
sure.
Right?
Yep.
Have you watched No Good Deed yet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's the best thing about, a lot of good things. It's funny, dark humor, mystery, but the great cast and 30. I love shows that are 30 to 36 minutes.
They are 32. Was the one last. We just watched one last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you don't plow through? I did the power watch. I watched it in one sitting.
No, I don't do that.
You can be done in 4 hours.
I don't have 4 hours to sit on my ass and watch television. I got to work, unlike you.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you do. You make time for important things.
Like watching television.
Well, I mean, speaking of Italians, who stole the show? Linda Cardellini.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal in it. And then Ray Romano was, all of them were good.
Ray Romano's really, he plays a good, strong and kind of negative role.
As does Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary's really a prick in that thing, man. No, it's a really, really good show. It is.
There's some redemption for him at the end. It was a good. I enjoyed it. I did not know what it was about, and I really enjoyed it. So
you watched all 8 episodes?
Yes. And what episode are you? See, but the fact is, Netflix is terrific because they give you the whole thing at once.
Yeah, they do.
It's not the drib drab type of thing.
Drib drab. We're only on episode 3 now. That's it.
Oh, it's kicking in. You're gonna love it.
No, we liked it so far.
How could you not find at least an hour to watch 2 back to back?
I don't want to watch 2 back-to-back. I would like to enjoy my life. First of all, Kath and I have been watching a Christmas movie every night, so we can't.
Well, this one's got it's a Christmas theme in this one. Sure, go with it.
I just go with that. No, we're having a good time, hanging out, everything. Well, we didn't watch a Christmas movie last night because we went to the Polish-American Christmas celebration, so that's good. No question about it.
So what was the food they put out?
I don't know. I didn't eat the food. Catherine and I went to a place last night. It's called Fern. There's a street, Fern Street, right?
Yeah.
Called the restaurant. They have their beef is all Wagyu beef. Holy God, is that place good? But I did see something, not there, but at another place. There was it was a large steak. I can't remember how big it was, but I think it was like maybe 24-ounce steak, something like that. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, right? $185 for one steak dinner.
How much is a side of potato?
Honest to God, $185.
Wow.
I have never seen that on a menu before in my life.
Is Wagyu the one that it can't be Wagyu if it's in from the United States?
It's got to be. I believe it's
Japanese.
Like Japanese. There's a certain
it?
county, and they like massage the cows, and they listen to like classical music. It's supposed to be a stress-free life for the cow before it's killed.
But have they tried doing that here? But they can't call it Wagyu.
I believe you have to put it's an American. Like you have to put a stipulation that it's not regular.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, listen about
Cletus just
well, I mean, I haven't really eaten red meat since I was 30, which was a year or two ago. So, I mean, I never really I smother it with salt, and I was not a big meat. It laid heavy on my gut. I did it. So
I missed it. Are you like a vegan or something, Bob?
Oh God, no. I mean, I eat your turkey, your chicken. I believe I bought into pork's the other white meat. So I'll have your occasional rib.
Okay.
Oh, pork
and bacon.
I would have assumed that you strike me as a guy that has like a steak weekly.
I think it's just because you're like a farmer rancher type of guy.
Because I'm like a fat guy. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just picturing I've seen mafia movies where they go they enjoy their steaks.
That was the 20th century mafia. The 21st century, they're very mindful of what they put in them. What they eat.
Yeah, they're doing yoga and they're doing calisthenics. Yeah,
Bob's body is a temple.
It's a temple.
It is a temple. It is.
There's no
Shirley
question
temple.
about it. Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
Shirley temple.
I watch what I eat. I like your poultry.
In my mouth.
All right. What else, Bob?
Well, I mean, again, the weekend, it's all about. There's a lot of football, a lot of college games, a lot of good football coming up, but the Viking game, it's a one step at a time in these next 3 weeks. Got to get by Seattle. Mm-hmm. I think the toughest game of their schedule, finishing even more so than Detroit, is that Packer game.
Yeah, I agree.
They're on fire.
Yep.
And if they don't beat the Packers, then that Detroit game could turn out to be meaningless to them.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens,
That's very, very true.
But the one thing you could say about Detroit, their coach, I mean, they are really, their defense is decimated. I mean, they've lost like 11 guys between their 5 starters, I think, and then half a dozen backups.
Mm-hmm.
They will have close games, and their coach is going to do something stupid. At least it'll be viewed stupid after he does it because he's so aggressive. You're down at your own 2-yard line on 4th down, and he goes for it.
Right.
He's that type of guy because he's just, he thinks they can get anything on 4th down.
I guess.
So, but it's going to be a fun final 3 weeks. No question.
Well, I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously.
They're already in. Yeah, done.
They're already in. So it just depends on seeding and all that stuff.
But they don't want to be the wild card.
No, they do not.
First or second wild, and they can't be the third wild card. But I mean, right now it looks like they would be the first, but they would wind up. I believe it was right now they would wind up with the Rams. That's not a team. That's a team that really is coming on.
Yeah.
And they're susceptible. I think the teams that can throw the ball and have good running games too. That's a tough combo for them.
Yep.
They'll struggle again. Well, they did struggle. They lost to the Rams, and the Rams were not as good as they are now when they played them.
Yeah.
They have Kevin O'Connell's mentor too, who probably knows how to beat them. So I don't know. I like O'Connell, but I don't think he's. People say coach of the year. Well, you know what? It's there's a lot of guys out there that a lot of cities saying their guy's coach of the year.
Right. I don't get too wound up on all that stuff. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? You get it, you get it.
Uh-oh. Lammy
Here
hopped
I
on.
am. Hey,
Here he is.
Bob, I have a question for you. I mean, and this is the goofy thing. If they're the first wild card team, they still got to go on the road.
Oh, they have to go on the road as a wild card. Absolutely. They have to go to
they got to
LA
go on a wild card a game against somebody that has a weaker record than they do.
Yes, they do.
That doesn't make sense to me. You know, I see why it is the way it is, but that sucks.
But that's they're the division. They would play if they're the top wild card. They play the division champ with the worst record, and I believe right now, I mean, it's going to come down to Tampa Bay or the Rams. I'm sure of that, and it'll be one of those teams. And that neither team is a good matchup for them. I don't think they're much better off winning you win your division and then your home field possibly throughout. You want them to come through U.S. Bank Stadium. You don't want to be going on the road. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I mean, I'm looking forward to how the season winds up and then how the playoffs, how they get lined up and how they wind up playing, or who they wind up playing. It's going to be whatever it is. You if you're a Vikings fan, I'm sure your thought is it's going to be fun until we get crushed in the playoffs. Then I'm going to be devastated again.
And then there's always next year. That's why I'm wearing this now, because I know in a few weeks I won't be.
And the next year, Daniel Jones will lead them to the promised land.
I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Sandy, another brilliant report, I thought.
All right, so this is it for until sometime in January?
January 6th.
That Monday.
That Monday.
Right.
We'll be back.
And if you wind up, if they make you come back sooner, Tevin, send me a little note or something.
Definitely. Can you do me a favor? I want you to picture somebody making me do something.
Can't. I get a blank.
There you go.
All right. Have a wonderful Christmas. And
Merry Christmas, Bob. Happy New Year, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, the whole shooting match.
All that stuff. All right. See you guys.
Thanks,
see you,
Bob.
Tim.
See ya.
We shall take a break. Be right back. Timmy will join us full time right after this. My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that have been on sale for over a year. Regular price of $119.98 and now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the six-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw & Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Timmy. Door County Timmy, spending that big dough going up to Door County.
Yeah, big dough, yeah. You know what? It is a beautiful place, though.
It is. It is.
My wife and I went for our 35th wedding anniversary there. So they sell nice sweatshirts there, too.
Look at that.
That's the only reason I went, just for the merch.
For the sweatshirt. Sure.
The merch, as the kids say. So Christmas time. Merry Christmas, everybody. Early, a few days early, and got Mufasa the Lion King coming out in this week's. We can't think of any more ideas, so we got to go back to the prequel or the remake or the blah 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 blah. When are you gonna find something new to do a movie about? You know,
you'll get no argument from me. That's all I have to say.
Oh my God! Unless they do it well, I will tell you off the top that this isn't nearly as good as The Lion King, and I'm talking about the 1994 animated Lion King. 2019, they did live action. Excuse me, a live action version. But it's basically all computer animated.
Oh,
I don't know if they film on live sets and then put in the characters. I got a bad excuse me cough. I've been hanging. This thing has been hanging with me for a couple weeks here. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Your wife was telling me that she bought you a bunch of cigars for Christmas, so that's good.
Looks like you got some else over at Door County.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know how that works. They're still billing this a live action. I call it a live action / computer animated hybrid because all of the characters, and this I will say, it's the photorealism is what the fancy schmancy people say, is pretty stunning. I mean, it's to the point now. I mean, a couple years ago, I saw a very silly movie called Call of the Wild. Great story, don't get me wrong. But it was Harrison Ford, and they had a bunch of fake dogs. I mean, it looked so bad.
Oh,
you know,
God.
so the animation, and that was also, I believe, a Walt Disney production. The animation was terrible then. It's come a long way. It was actually pretty good for The Lion King. Obviously, for a franchise like that, they're going to stick a lot more money into it.
Mm-hmm.
So for what it's worth, I mean, it is really stunning visually to look at. It's the prequel story to The Lion King about Mufasa. Of course, we lost James Earl Jones this year.
Right.
I mean, it was 93. My God.
Yep.
It's like, well, who else could do Mufasa? Well, nobody. But when you do a prequel story, then you're talking about him as a cub.
Right.
And then, you get a little kid. Braylon Rankins does the voice. And then Pierre, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name now, but he does the voice of the adult Lion King. And it's going to bother. Aaron Pierre is his name. So basically what you do is you get the story of how Mufasa and Taka, who becomes Scar, his enemy, you see how they met and the jealousies that broke them apart and how eventually they came to Pride Rock and, formed, basically it's a setup to the story for The Lion.
Right.
So you got a lot of new voices in there. And again, I think the photorealism is just amazing to look at. I think the thing falls short, though, with the songs. When you got Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Those are Elton John and Tim Rice's songs from the 1994 original, which they did again for the remake. Now you have new songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is a great songwriter. It just doesn't feel as classic out of the box as it did with those songs in the original Lion King. I don't know, maybe over time they will come to feel more classic, but there was just something so magical about those original tunes. So I think that's where the movie is lacking the most. The songs are great songs, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have that classic feel that it did with the original film with those songs. Oddly enough, a movie which I thought was way underwhelming this year was Moana 2, mainly because Lin-Manuel Miranda did not take part in that. He was working on The Lion King, because with the first Moana, you could tell the difference. Those songs, again, they feel classic right away. Mm-hmm. So these are effectively movie musicals, whether you want to admit it or not. Seeing lions sing, I know it's weird, but that's the way it is. So I don't know, Tom. I think that definitely you will want to bring your grandkids to this one. It's something hopefully you're going to plan on doing at some point or watching it with them.
When Disney used to own KQRS, the CEO came on because they kicked off the Lion King stage play in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And what was his name again? I can never remember his name.
Michael Eisner.
Michael Eisner. That's exactly right. Well, he was in town, and apparently he was listening to the show because I went to the opening night of the Lion King. And I said, oh, my God, did that suck. He got so pissed off at me about that. It was unbelievable. He called in, and I'm like, what are you calling me for? Leave me alone.
Michael Eisner on the listener line.
On the listener line. So I told him to F off, and we moved on.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I thought it was terrible. Always did.
You know what? I've never seen that production in the theater.
It's not good.
Julie Taymor, who is a terrific director, I know directed that, and they did the previews here, and that's why it was a big deal. I mean, back in the day,
right.
You know, Minneapolis used to be a big place for previews, including Victor Victoria. I don't know if you remember Julie Andrews and Blake Edwards hanging around town. And Billy Crystal, when he revived 700 Sundays, he also did a pre-Broadway run. It was only like 4 dates, but it was cool. It was I did see that. So yeah, I guess you are a victim of unfortunate timing there with Michael Eisner listening.
No, I knew he was listening. What the hell? It's none of his business.
Yeah. Well, the thing went on to do quite well on Broadway anyway. So.
No, it did. It was just not. It was not my kind of deal. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did see a couple times because it is impressive. Festival of the Lion King, which I don't know if it's still going at Walt Disney World, but it's basically a selection of songs from the Lion King and a restaging of some of the stuff. So I did see that. I got that close, but I'm a movie guy. I don't review plays. I wish I would. Maybe I should at some point. But
I do, but it didn't work out.
Things didn't work out for the theater. But
no,
you're kind of. I went to a early preview because I missed the screening. Screening was Monday night. Yeah, let's screen this on Monday night when the Vikings are playing. Yeah,
there you go.
And it's like, okay, actually, I was, went on thinking, oh, it's Tuesday night, I'll see it. And then I'd say, oh, it was Monday. Well, you know what? I wouldn't have gone anyway. Because right now the Vikings are, yeah, baby. Blow the Gallahorn, whatever it is. But I went yesterday, and I don't know if this is a telling sign. Of course, yesterday was crappy weather, but I was the only one in the theater for the 2:00 showing.
Oh my God.
So I don't know, but I'm out here in the sticks, but I don't know if that is a telling sign of how audiences are going to respond to this one. I don't know.
Maybe.
I just can't see it being as big of a hit.
Right.
As well, certainly not the animated Lion King or the remake. I was underwhelmed by the remake. It just, again, what is the point? What is the point here when it was frame for frame the exact same movie? It just didn't make any sense to me. At least with this one, you're getting a fresh new story, even though, again, it's kind of a wash, rinse, repeat thing. It's like we can't come up with anything new. So, hey, let's do a Lion. So now what I can see happening from here is another Lion King movie in quote unquote live action / computer animation. I think they're just setting this thing up. I won't tell you why. Something in the last act that happens that basically sets things up for another one. They just got to come up with new ideas, man.
Yeah, they do. I agree. There's not a lot new going on. You're right about that.
No. I guess since we're not on next week or the week after, I can tell you quickly a film that is being remade, and it is brilliant, is Nosferatu.
Oh, really?
It's coming out on that. What's that?
I've been waiting to hear about your take about it because
Yeah. It is. There's a guy named Robert Eggers who did The Witch the Northman was his last one. It was a Viking one with Alexander Skarsgård. He has Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu in this thing. I mean, and the thing that I love about horror movie remakes, and a big problem that a lot of studios, they're stepping into it. They're stepping into the punch by going modern with it. He sets it back in the period where the original story is. Don't modernize things.
I agree.
Like Tom Cruise and The Mummy. I like Tom Cruise a lot, but it just doesn't work in a modern setting. If you go with that gothic old setting like Robert Eggers does with Nosferatu, it is great stuff. And I tell you, who's a great actor is Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter.
Oh, really?
Is fantastic in this movie. Yeah, it's a great cast. Like I say, Bill Skarsgård is Nosferatu. Just a great cast all around. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe.
I like it.
Yeah, and there's one other actor who's eluding my. It's one of these things, the cough, the cold, and everything. My mind is kind of a fog here. One other actor who is in Juror Number 2, which is out today, by the way, on streaming. Clint Eastwood's picture.
Oh, okay.
See that. But Nicholas Hoult, he is also in it. So stream that on Max if you can. Juror Number 2, Nosferatu out next Christmas. Lion King, Mufasa the Lion King out today.
Thank you, sir. Have a magnificent Christmas, New Year. We'll see you back on the week of the 6th. It'll be magnificent.
In 2025. Merry Christmas, Kevin. Merry Christmas, AJ.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Kristen, if you're listening. And
she definitely is.
Tommy, it's my best to you and yours, you and Catherine and your family, and we'll talk again soon.
Merry Christmas. All the best to your family as well, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen passes that along as well. Merry Christmas back to you.
Okay,
she gave me the finger. I saw that.
I see it. I see it there. Okay.
She gave me the finger. I saw that. Okay. Tim Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That is MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Kristen Burt is up next to wrap things up for the week, baby.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch, and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And now to wrap up the entire year of 2024, Kristen Bird.
I'm feeling all emo. I can't believe we're doing this. And
Emo-y?
last 2024.
The last appearance of 2024 for you. I still have to do the family show after this one, but you guys are wandering off. That's all I know.
And my hair looks good. I'm kind of happy about this.
Oh, listen, God, don't I look wonderful?
No, it's just, you never know how my hair turns out. And I'm like, I'm glad I'm ending the year with you guys on a good note.
Yeah, it looks very bouncy, very voluminous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. I had my hair all did for an appearance yesterday, and this is the second day hair. Second day hair is always good.
Wait a second. What appearance did we make yesterday?
It was my final appearance of 2024 on Sex Lies and Spray Tans, which is an iHeartRadio podcast for Dancing with the Stars. I do their Thursday headlines with their host, Cheryl Burke.
Cheryl Burke.
Yeah, she's a former Dancing with the Stars pro. So
there you have it. So what's new?
Well, everyone had homework, and I bet
Yes.
nobody thought about it.
I did. I did.
Oh, I'm so happy.
It was very tough to narrow down the search. but
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I asked everyone what they thought the biggest pop culture moment or story was of 2024. So Tevin, I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, so mine, I mean, it was very hard because there's a lot of moments that have happened. And like, as I'm digging in, there's more that came to mind. Like, oh, I forgot about that. So obviously Taylor Swift dominated the headlines, and more recently, Drake and Kendrick's beef has dominated the headlines. But I went with the Drake Bell Nickelodeon documentary as my number one, just because it had the nostalgia factor from back in the day, and obviously all of the heinous things that went on. So that for me, that was the big moment of 2024.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did have it on my list, but I kind of added it at the last minute because sometimes we forget about what happened at the first part of the year. And you're talking about the documentary that came out, Quiet on the Set, which really showcased how we were not protecting kids on set. And I think that what it has done, and people may not realize this, but SAG-AFTRA, which is the actors union, has stepped up measures to help protect kids on set even more so. And it's changed since the 90s already, but they even tightened up those procedures. So hopefully that is a big win for everybody all around.
There you have it. You're going to move on now to AJ.
Because Tom's like, what is it? What is it? I didn't think of mine.
Well, I did too. I got it all locked in.
All right, AJ, go ahead.
So I had a couple that came to mind that just like maybe it's recency bias, but like that. Now the Alex Baldwin Rust case, I feel like was a continuous thing because like court stuff, I feel like it's drawn out over the course of the year. So often we come back around to it. And then he had the TLC show, and I know you love to as much as we do kind of poke fun at his partner for her.
Hilaria.
Hilaria.
And just a reminder, we'll probably be talking Alex in 2025 because that's when his reality show debuts.
P. Diddy and his whole thing, just because I feel like that web of connections potentially between him and other major celebrities, there's, his case is going to be released, like just a plethora. It seems like victims coming forward saying, hey, I have a testimony that I want to make and all that stuff. And then I feel like we earlier in the year, like documentary wise, I feel like we kept coming back around to the We Are the World.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
That was such a big, I think, early in the year for us, and now that feels like a year or two ago. But we talked about that. I feel like it kept coming up with different guests and whatnot, just because people that were featured in it kept coming forward with like some deeper inside stories about that night and kind of everything that went into that process.
I forgot about that's a good one. I enjoyed that documentary too.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good.
Quincy Jones died though.
And we lost Quincy Jones this year.
Yeah.
He died the day before he was being honored by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. He was getting one of their governor's awards. And if anyone hasn't seen it, Rashida Jones, his daughter, did the most moving sort of tribute to him on the stage because the family decided to show up in his honor. So really sad.
Well, they each got $70 million out of the will, so that's pretty good.
I'm sure they're going to be fine. They were fine. Rashida Jones was fine on her own.
She's a good actor, actually.
She's a great actress. I love her on
she
The
is.
Office.
It's true. Absolutely right.
Tom, it's your turn.
For what?
Best moment of 2024.
The biggest moment of 2024, obviously for me, it was the election because people have lost their minds. I have never been so locked into one candidate that I had a fit if they didn't win. It's like, whatever. If we're voting on it, people get to vote. When are we going to learn that if your person didn't win, that's because they didn't get as many votes? Calm down, for Christ's sake.
Tom, I'm going to tell you something. This is the reality. None of our candidates won because guess what? It's President Elon Musk.
Oh, God, here we go. I knew you'd start.
No, I'm just saying, if you're following what's happening today with the government shutdown, it's weird that a billionaire who is not an elected official has any say in what's happening right now. It's bananas.
Does he?
He posted some picture of like him with the two bills that took like the $200 million away from cancer research or something like that. And yeah, he's all happy.
And he is threatening Republican senators for not supporting, what he and Donald Trump reportedly want. He's like, listen, I will support a candidate to primary against you and you will lose.
So
That's
basically what we've learned since I was born is that if you have a lot of money, you get to do whatever you want to do. It's always been that way.
Yeah, it is.
There's no question. Look, as a kid finding out, and my mother loved JFK because he was the first Catholic president of the United States. That was a very big deal. That was a tough moment for me. That's why I don't have the same view of politics that most people have, because I, as a little boy, was very excited when my mother was so excited. And then I found out about the family. Their father was one of the filthiest human beings ever born. So I haven't been wild about politics ever since I was about 8, 9 years old.
There you go.
It's true. These people are not, I mean, can you name one person in Washington, D.C. that's on the up and up? Everybody's in it for the money. It's so very obvious they're in it for the money. Ugh. It's like me being in radio for the money or podcasting. Ugh. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Everybody's for sure in it for the money. Even the Haktua girl, Haley Welch, apparently. Kristen, do you have any insight? Me and AJ were talking about it during one of the breaks where she released like a Bitcoin or something and then sold all hers to make money. And now everybody else is like, where the hell did you go?
It's been like 2 weeks since they held a Twitter X space where her and her team were trying to calm people down because they released this meme coin site type thing. I think like Hawk coin or whatever, which frankly, if you're spending your hard-earned United States currency on Hawk coin, you kind of have it coming to you. But I believe the term is a rug pull, where essentially they sold a bunch of stuff and people were able to prove that. So it made a lot of people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars altogether. And they addressed it, got called out, and she was like, all right, guys, well, I'm getting tired, so I'm going to go to bed. Toodaloo. And everybody's like, okay. But then she hasn't done her podcast in 2 weeks. She's not tweeted in 2 weeks. Nobody's heard from her in 2 weeks. So everybody's like, we need some sort of answers.
Yeah.
That's because she's at Fiji on the Four Seasons at one of those beautiful bungalows over the water. Come on.
Sure.
I feel like crypto scams are the biggest, where everyone gets just loses their shirt. I'm like, don't do it. Because
it feels like a litmus test where it's like, do you really think these are a good investment? But
no,
maybe
and they're unregulated. It's unregulated too. So I think that's where just have a little common sense with all this. And the Haktua girl probably should not be your financial advisor.
We recommend Josh Arnold for that.
We have Josh Arnold. Exactly.
Let's see.
All right. Here's some of mine. And one, I don't think we talked about it too much here on the show, but it was a big part of the first 3 or 4 months of the year. And that was Kate Middleton being kind of missing. Do everyone remember this? We were all like,
that year? Was that this year?
That was this year. Doesn't it feel like 2 years ago?
Yeah. Where the altered photoshopped hand around a kid or whatever.
Yeah, and then they were like, where is she? Why hasn't she been seen in public? She had this mysterious abdominal surgery that they said was planned. Well, it turned out she had cancer, which I'm sure a lot of people felt bad about after, saying that William had run off with his affair partner and everything else. So alleged affair partner. But it took over social media for a solid 6 weeks, where like the whole is like, where's Kate hashtag. That was this year, which is kind of like unbelievable. I think a couple other things, podcasting in general just became a really hot topic. Part of the Olympics, part of the election cycle, where you had Joe Rogan being very influential. You had Call Her Daddy, Alex Cooper being very influential this year. And then at the end of this year, Kylie Kelsey coming in and dethroning Joe Rogan on the top of the charts, which is pretty amazing to do.
Wait a minute. Run it by me again. What happened?
Kylie Kelsey, who is Jason Kelsey's wife, he is a former Philadelphia Eagle player.
Sister-in-law of Travis Kelsey, who is Taylor Swift.
In that whole universe of like Taylor Swift, Travis, everything. She started her own podcast and in the very first week dethroned Joe Rogan at the top of the charts.
He had like 17 million listeners. And she had more than that?
Yes.
Jesus, Palomino. So now that is a totally worthless medium, too.
Kylie Kelsey, I like Kylie Kelsey a lot.
I think it's interesting because that shows just how maybe untapped like the female demographic is in the podcasting world. Like Alex Cooper was a titan, is honestly still a titan of the game, but having somebody with a certain platform who's very well spoken, who seems very fun with a good personality. Like there's such a big untapped demographic there that I feel like you're going to see like Spotify and other companies and advertisers saying like, who's the person that we can get to kind of get into this and get a piece of the pie?
Kylie is so just normal considering the level of fame their family has right now. She's pregnant with her 4th child. She sits there and makes fun of Jason Kelsey, who's also very famous, but it's done in a very like fun-loving way that I think a lot of people relate to her. She's a former professional athlete herself. So I just think it's really interesting how the whole Kelsey family has been able to stay relatively normal in a millionaire/billionaire bubble.
Yeah, I don't really understand what that's all about either, because now I saw there was, I don't know, that one of those Kelsey guys he's a commentator on
he's on ESPN.
Football, ESPN, that's what he's on now?
Jason. Yeah.
He's terrible.
Oh, people just can't stand Jason Kelsey.
He's terrible.
There's a lot of hate, which I think stems from the your brother's dating Taylor Swift category. But yeah, seems to always be on ESPN taking his shirt off and some fans, but I don't mind him.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, also another one, cannot commentate.
Oh,
I think we also saw that this year too. Not every single former football player is a great broadcaster. I think that's something we saw on display.
Well, I agree with what you said last week that football players are stupid.
Not every football player is stupid.
I tried to hang it on her. She didn't accept it.
I was like, no, I'm not taking that.
No, I'm not taking it.
Also, A-list celebrities. Will Smith's comeback with Bad Boys, which was was a big deal.
Okay.
$400 million at the box office.
Whoa.
Kevin Costner losing his shirt at the box office with Horizon and American Saga, to the point that they never released the second film, which is done and in the can.
Really? Ooh.
It's
and
bad.
They had plans to do a third one too, right?
3rd and 4th. And he said he's going to continue to finish this somehow. I don't know where he's going to get the money because remember, he put in $38 million of his own money.
Oh.
And speaking of people who put in their own money, Jennifer Lopez did $20 million of her documentary, which was at the first of the year, boasting about her love to Ben Affleck. And now they're in the middle of a divorce. So,
whoops.
God.
And she canceled her tour too, as well.
And she canceled her tour. Yeah. Like some of these stories, like you forget, and you're like, she started the year with her and Ben Affleck professing how much they love each other.
Oh, yeah.
And now they can't even stand to be in the same room, and we're in December. It's terrible.
How many times has she been married now? Like 10?
4.
4 times this woman's been married.
Ohani Noah, then Chris Judd, then Mark Anthony, and then Ben Affleck.
4 marriages.
4 marriages.
Yes.
In what, about 12 years, something like that?
About 20.
20 years?
About 20 years.
Yeah, the one to Noah was a 2-year marriage, and then Chris Judd was 3 years. Mark Anthony was actually a decade, and then Ben Affleck was 2022 to 2024. So
I know Chris Judd because he is a dancer. He works in the dance community.
Okay.
He's very sweet, very quiet, very soft-spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. Like, I look at it now and I'm like, how was he ever married to Jennifer Lopez? But I think he was someone who was willing to take a step back and let her shine. He didn't need the spotlight, so that probably worked for a while.
Yeah, I suppose. Some people are just never going to be happy, are they?
Yeah.
do you think it's fair to say that 2024 was maybe the first year with like this very decisive, we don't have that like A+ tier movie celebrity anymore? Because like Timothy Chalamet, I feel like isn't like that it guy. He's a little in a lot of stuff, but he's not like, you know, a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt maybe once were. Do you feel like maybe the ceiling for celebrities has maybe lowered quite a bit here in 2024?
I definitely think so. And I think the celebrity worship that at least I grew up with, because you would get People magazine in the mail, you wouldn't get it on your phone or things like that. Celebrities were everything. They weren't accessible because they weren't on social media. And now that they're on social media, and now that people are calling out, you can't have bad behavior as a celebrity. Like, you know, 30 years ago, you could do whatever you wanted. Nobody cared. You were forgiven. This time around, people are holding celebrities accountable for their behavior. And whether that's politics, whether that's, you know, issues with sexual harassment, crime, it doesn't matter. It's one of those things that people don't worship celebrities the way they used to. And we're seeing that sort of downside of fame, which is interesting.
Well, because, I mean, as far as famous people are concerned right now, are there a couple going, like, shining examples, a man and a woman, of what celebrity should be? Because, I mean, that was kind of the idea back in the day, and I'm sorry, but actors are not always the best people in the world.
No, I think a lot of people would probably hold up Taylor Swift as a role model. She has done a lot of good things. Obviously, that year or end of tour bonus she gave to everyone. She raised money for food shelters in every single food pantries in every single city she visited.
That's great.
I think she would be someone that people would probably, it doesn't mean she's perfect, but I think she at least tries her best.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with you on that. Someone, hey, I have a lot of money, I should help people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
She made over $2 billion in ticket sales and did not keep it all for herself.
$2 billion.
When the worst thing that people say about you is you're too popular or too famous, then like, okay, you must be doing something right.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, to me, that, you know, I threw it out on Facebook just to see, and a couple other social media platforms, just to see what other people said. Taylor Swift was mentioned almost all the time in everyone's responses. Donald Trump was someone who was also mentioned. And I thought it's so interesting. Taylor Swift was Time Magazine's Person of the Year last year, and Donald Trump is Time Magazine's Person of the Year this year. So kind of interesting how that really sort of floated in everyone's answers. And just a couple of things to like look ahead to. FX kind of really won the year with all of their TV shows. Shogun, we talked about a lot. The Bear, we talked about a lot. Fargo, we talked about a lot. They've really become like, if you're looking for like the high quality shows, they're kind of the network to beat right now. And live events are going to continue to be the core focus of streaming. So sporting events, we did well with the Olympics this year. The Tom Brady roast, things like that. You had the Tyson fight, Dancing with the Stars come back. All of those things are live, and those are the things that people are watching and talking about, and last longer than, you know, say the hour or two that they're on the air. They become a topic of discussion all week long.
All right, you got 2 weeks to do whatever you want. What are you going to do?
I'm going to rot on the couch.
You're going to rot on the couch. There you go. Okay. I think I'll do the same. I'll just rot on the couch. Works for me.
And watch TV and eat like chips and dip. And it just sounds fabulous. And then every once in a while, I'll go out for some vitamin D and breathe some fresh air.
Sure.
And then go back and rot.
Well, don't rot too much, because we've got to have you back on the 6th of January.
Oh, we're now back to the 6th, not the 2nd?
Everybody said the 2nd. I told everybody, I'm not coming back for 2 days. That's ridiculous. Be off for a week and a half and then come back for 2 days? No.
Okay. I would have been here on the 2nd just waiting for my link.
Just tell everybody to butt out. It's none of their business. All right, sister. We'll have a magnificent Christmas, New Year, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you got.
That's right. Boxing Day, all that.
Boxing Day in Canada. You're absolutely right.
That's right. And thank you all for a great year and for making my morning that much more fun.
We feel the same way, sister.
You won't January 6th.
Say January 6th. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Bank Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Why is it such a shock to everybody? I told everybody 3 weeks ago it was going to be the 6th. Did some people argue the point?
I just read an email wrong, and I think I read an email wrong, and then told everybody else that it was the 2nd. So I'll take the blame on that one.
Well, no, it's no big deal. It was the email was wrong.
Well, we'll figure it out.
That has just never ever made any sense to me. You're going to take all this time off, but then we'll come back for the last day of the week. No.
Yes, we're going to show up like that one lady who ran the Boston Marathon.
Right. Yes, just jump out of the taxi.
Yes, exactly.
Renee, what was her name? Renee something, wasn't it?
I have no idea. Oh, Rosie something. It was like
Rosie Perez. No, that's not it. Rosie O'Donnell. No, she's not a marathon runner.
I think so.
All right, you pills.
Oh, Rosie Ruiz.
Rosie Ruiz.
Rosie Ruiz. There you go. She got in a taxi, didn't she?
Something like that. Yeah, she just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Everybody's like
popped out some Ugg boots with a Starbucks and
nothing wrong with that. All right, what you guys got planned for all the holiday celebrations?
Just going to see a lot of family, eat way too much food, probably sleep too much, but yeah, relax and recharge.
Looking forward to it. We'll have a magnificent Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Happy New Year, all the rest of it. Then January 6th, isn't it some evil going on that day or something?
Yeah, it's like the anniversary of last January 6th. They're 4 years
That's
ago,
what it
whatever
is.
that is.
There you go. All right. All right, we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, have a good holiday.
Family show is up in about 10 minutes.